Hi Pookies! Have you ever walked out of a movie theater after seeing a movie that was so good it may have just restored your faith in humanity? Like, you're walking out a changed person, like you're gonna do something today and it's gonna benefit society. You know, kind of like how last year, like, Superman had like men on their best behavior for like 2 weeks. Remember that? That was pretty cool. That was me last night after seeing Minions and Monsters. Guys, it was really good. And I want to talk about it. So yeah, I went with my best friend last night, Riley. We were seats 6 and 7, obviously, because she's the 6 to my 7. Aww. I love you, Riley. So yeah, anyway, it was really good and I want to talk about it. A lot of times I see with like YouTube reviews, a lot of people will go in like being super negative and stuff, kind of like Alex Myers. Like, and the thing about Alex Myers is I had a feeling he was gonna say something, and I was like, as soon as that Obsession review dropped, I felt vindicated. I used to watch Alex Myers, and I used to like Alex Myers too. And I just was like, why are we always like hating on young girls? And I knew there was something. I knew that door had a lock on it. So I feel vindicated. I feel like I was right. And you know what? To balance out all the misogyny in the world brought on by Alex Myers, you guys should just subscribe to me, because that would be the woke thing of you to do. And you should do that. That would be really cool if you did that. Thank you.
Subscribe if you're not misogynistic.
Anyway, so I'm gonna start off with no spoilers. We'll kind of gradually get into spoilers. Here we go. So I will always be a firm believer in that kids deserve good movies. Like, kids can tell when a movie is bad, and they deserve to be entertained, but also to have movies that will like help them grow fundamentally. And I really think that's an important part of like growing up, is like the stories you're told. And yeah, honestly, I think that this movie has some really great themes for kids, and especially in this like era of like AI slop and everything that's going on. Like, you don't know what your kids are watching, like, for real. And I mean, I don't have kids, but like if I did, I'd be like freaking out. But honestly, like, a lot of the messages in this film of like encouraging individuality and like artistic expression and like stepping out of like groupthink and like, you know, having to stand up for yourself and everything, like, that's important for kids. I don't know, I feel like this movie just had so much more of like a message and a point to make that I think is really good for kids to be seeing, and it's enjoyable for adults to be seeing as well. Like, it warmed like my sad little Grinch heart, like it did. So another thing this movie did that I haven't seen like really any of the other Despicable Me movies do yet so far, and it, like, when they did it, I'm like, this is such like an obvious and easy way to do it. This is amazing. One of the main 3 minions is deaf, and I thought that was amazing. Like, they literally were like signing back and forth to each other, and I just thought that was so awesome to have on screen, because you really don't see, especially like in kids movies, very much like disability representation, especially too like the last show I remember seeing was Hawkeye, and that wasn't like, that was a long time ago, first of all, in like the grand scheme of the earth and everything, and it also wasn't targeted for kids. So I thought that this was a really awesome way to like add that representation into this, like, into a, like, first of all, like the Minions, like a really big franchise as it is. And like it kind of was like, why haven't we had a deaf minion? Like, obviously that makes so much sense, like, to have. So I thought that was so cool, and yeah, that warmed my heart too. So I also too, since I'm in film school, I feel a little qualified to talk about this, but one of the like #1 things they teach you in like screenwriting is to not make a movie about being a filmmaker or being a writer or being a director, or make a movie about making movies, because it's kind of like the general audience isn't gonna connect with that. Like, this is a very like niche thing, and like it's like overdone and it's not done well. This is one of the cases where I think it's done extremely well. It literally, I've seen people say it's like a love letter to cinema as like a whole, and it really is. Like, it's done so phenomenally well. Like, it definitely gets a pass from like my film professors, hopefully. I don't know, they might think I'm crazy for making this. You can definitely tell that this was like a passion project of like the writers, the animators, whoever, all of them, like seriously, all of like the cinematic references, all of like the homages to every single like genre, all of like the introduction of sound and everything. I'm starting to get into spoiler territory, so I'm gonna cut myself off here and start putting a spoiler warning, just because I'm just gonna start talking about like random scenes and like events that I really like that happened in the movie. I'm going to be so honest. I could kind of tell like where this was going, like as we're following like the two main characters on the mission, like they're trying to make the movie, they're trying to get the monsters and everything to put in the movie. I was definitely like, okay, at some point it's gonna start being like, oh, and then the whole thing, the whole adventure was they were making the movie all along. And not to sound kind of dumb, but like literally the very ending scene where it's like they pull back the curtain, it's like literally from the minute the movie started, this was the movie. Like you essentially bought a ticket to go see the movie that the Minions made. I thought that was really good. Like it could just be being dumb. Like I was like, okay, like I'm thinking, you know, like the movie was gonna be like from them. Cause then the scene specifically where they're at, like they're at the club and they're talking to the director guy, and he basically was saying how like, oh, like you're gonna throw in a romance plot there. I'm like, oh, because the romance plot obviously it's like between like the girl and like the alien guy and all that. And I was like, okay, so the movie started like after this conversation. No, like the whole thing was the movie. So I really like that like pull back the curtain moment. I thought that was really good, and it makes sense because like otherwise the movie would have been named like The Minions Make a Movie or something. No, like you were watching Minions and Monsters, like the movie that James was making. Like no, I thought it was so good. I genuinely am geeked about this movie. It was so fun. It was so like whimsical and well thought out. Like it really had like everything I loved in a movie, like just all perfectly put together, and it made me like the Minions for some reason. So that was pretty cool too. The only part I was a little on the fence about was the aliens being real. There were so many funny moments throughout. I thought like they would do something. I thought when they were going down that alleyway is like they were saying like, oh, we gotta find like the most evil person there is. I'm thinking it's gonna be a cop or something. And I was like, for a minute I'm like, I don't think they're gonna do that. Even though I would have thought that's funny, I didn't think they were gonna do that. But I was like, maybe it's like a tax collector or something. And then it was like the guy in the cosplay, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of funny too. And then it's like he's, you know, like a loser and all that and like whatever. So, you know, but like I didn't know how I felt about him actually being an alien in the end. But then it kind of made sense, like when like literally the curtains pulled back and it's like, oh, this was all part of their movie. Like it's kind of like the third act convenient thing that like doesn't make a whole ton of sense, but like, you know what, they gotta save the day. And I don't know if that was intentional, but honestly it kind of works, and I really think it does kind of make the movie more funny to me then, where it's like, oh yeah, no, like, oh, of course the aliens are real, and you know, like they're gonna conveniently help them save the day. But it's like that is something that would happen in a movie like this that they're like already meta commentating on. So I'm gonna give it a pass. I'm gonna give it a pass because if it's intentional, I think it was creative. But yeah, I thought it was hilarious when the Minions were out on the streets fighting for women's suffrage. If you had told me that was gonna be in a Minions movie, I would have laughed in your face. That's insane. I thought it was so good. When I got home, I told my boyfriend about that scene. He was like, but if the Minions are evil, why are they fighting for women's suffrage? That's a good thing. And I'm like, I genuinely at first made him think like they were like against women's suffrage. I'm like, no, they were, you know, they were pro-women guys. Unlike Alex Byers. Who said that? Anyway, that just made me laugh. I thought that was a fun little detail to add. Like when they're bringing in like the time and stuff, like, oh yeah, the Minions have been around for like since the dawn of history or whatever. I like when they have like these random moments, and I think they had to like actually confirm that the Minions never worked for Hitler, which would be crazy. Yeah, honestly. Another funny thing I would like to mention is that when, before we went to go see it in theaters, I was telling Riley, I was like, oh, I was getting these videos on my feed, and they're all parody videos, because this happens every single time, like, especially whenever, like, a Deadpool movie comes out, and it's, like, all these, like, moms on, like, TikTok will come on, and they'll be like,
don't take your kids to see the new Deadpool movie. It's about Satan.
And it's like, No, it's just a Deadpool movie. Like, it's like, oh my gosh. And it's like, it's kind of like in WandaVision when like everything is Mephisto. It's like this with this like specific type of like Facebook mom where it's like everything is Satan and everything is witchcraft. And it's like, bro, you just can't like enjoy things. But the thing is, with the Deadpool conversation, this happens every time a Deadpool movie comes out. And it's like, so the one watch of the trailer could tell you everything you need to know. And the title of the movie being Deadpool, like, yeah, I'm gonna go take my 3-year-old to see Deadpool. Like, you sure about that? I'm also like, who's letting these kids in to go see Deadpool? Like, me and my friends are all over 21, and like, they were telling me they got ID'd to go see Backrooms, and I was like, okay. Yeah, they won't let you into the back rooms if you're not, I don't know. And I don't know if that's just the theater in our area or whatever, but I was like, I don't know. Crazy. I got ID'd to go into a Dave & Buster's one time. So I'm just saying, it kind of sounds like maybe it's partly on you and maybe it's partly on, I don't know. Obviously, this movie is a little different than taking your kids to go see a Deadpool movie. But then it's like with the Hocus Pocus movie or whatever came out, it's like people were mad about that. And like, I don't know, man. I remember that my mom had like her websites and stuff that she would look on. Like she looked up all of like the Harry Potter movies on Common Sense Media before we were allowed to watch it. Like I'm kind of just like, if you're gonna be that strict about it, maybe do your research before. I don't know. But all of that to say, there was these videos I was going around seeing like, don't take your kids to see the new Minions movie. It's about Satan. My kids came home for the movie and there was an I love Satan. And I was like, dude, there's no way. Like, that's crazy. Well, they do technically, in defense of the Facebook moms here, the one time I will cut y'all some slack, they do technically, like, summon monsters from hell, I guess, and, like, well, one of them, two, technically, they summon, like, 2 of them from hell using, like, a spell book, and then the other 2 they kind of just find in the ice somewhere, but that, I was like, we walked out and Riley's like, I mean, I guess they were onto something for once. I was like, oh, I told my boyfriend and he was like, and I was like, well, yeah, but still, like, it's kind of crazy. Like, the kids aren't gonna see the Minions, like, trying to summon, like, demons or something and try to do it at home. And then he was like, you sure about that? I was like, yeah. But you know what? You know what I think? I think it builds character. So I'm still pro Minions on this one. I thought I would throw him a bone there because that was kind of funny. I was like, oh, so they did technically do that. And the kids do love the Minions. Like, I will say, like, they will probably do anything that, like, Bob, Kevin, or Stuart tells them to do. So, you know, they kind of got me there. But I thought that was pretty funny, so. Okay, so my final thoughts on the movie. When me and Riley walked out, she said something that I thought I kind of had opinions on because I agree. She was like, wow, that felt like a Muppets movie, like, honestly. And I really like, don't hate me here, the kind of overall vibe shift that the Minions are doing, kind of this, like, Muppetification of the Minions. I'm here for it, honestly. I really think that the Minions are kind of, well, like, Despicable Me, like, everything in general. They're all kind of, like, self-aware enough to know how much of an impact, like, the Minions have on, like, society. Like, you've got, like, the boomers using the Minion memes. You've got, like, my generation using the Minion memes. Like, they kind of have solidified themselves as, like, an ongoing part of pop culture. Like, I don't think this is like, oh, this is like Elsa thing, like, this is gonna fade away. Like, this is like pretty, they have managed to stay culturally relevant for a really long time, and I really think that they would thrive under this sort of format of like, oh, like, they're trying to make a movie and like all of the shenanigans that ensue. Like, I really do think that like introducing more of these like kind of like spin-offs, like something that's like literally completely detached from, like, not just like an origin story, not like the Rise of Gru. I haven't seen Rise of Gru, so maybe I could be wrong. I don't know what's in it, so that's my bad. I need to watch it. but like literally something like this that is so detached from Despicable Me lore. It's like new original Minions and like they're making a movie. Like, I really think you could go really far with this concept, and I really like the direction this is going. Unfortunately, this one was the lowest grossing Despicable Me movie from what I was reading online. Which, to be fair, I'm not over here like, boo-hoo, I'm so sad for the bajillion-dollar company. Oh no, their movie didn't make like $5 bajillion. Like, it's not like that. But I know that these studios, they just like, they don't see politics, they don't see like emotional stories, they just see money signs. Like, they just see dollar signs. They're like, whatever makes the most money, that's what the people want. And that's not always a good reflection of how these things work. I honestly think that there's so many factors to probably why this movie didn't perform as well as they probably would have wanted it to. I mean, we're in a bit of a recession right now, so I mean, movie tickets are expensive, especially to take your kids to go see a movie. Like, we literally just saw it on Value Day, and like, me and my one friend, like, we're not like a family of 4 trying to go see an opening weekend or anything. So, you know, there's that. Yeah, honestly, the way it was advertised was, I will say, a little confusing. I didn't really know it was gonna be like this, like, homage to like the film industry, which ended up being super cool. I was very pleasantly surprised. But I did kind of just think like, oh, they're gonna be like fighting the monsters or something. It's gonna be like another, like, just another Minions movie, you know? But it really was its own standalone project. I think it's a hard movie to market, to be fair. I can't say what I would have done differently. I don't really know. I mean, it's I know that their marketing budget is a lot higher, so they probably could have done something, but like I said, I don't think there's any one factor of why this movie was like a flop, which not even a flop. Like, I mean, it made money. It made like $360 million, so, you know. But I do wish it had performed better, just solely because I know they're going to look at this and be like, oh, like, even though the critics like ate it up. Like, I remember seeing like the Rotten Tomatoes score, and it was like 94 or something at the time, and I was like, what? Like, anything over 90, I was like, that's insane. This must be like the best movie ever, and like, low key. Yeah, I don't know. I would just say, if you haven't seen it already, go on Value Day, because I'm not trying to pay more than like $8 for a ticket in this economy. But I don't know. It sucks. It sucks a little bit that that's the case. I was literally making a joke about how like the movie theaters are gonna see like, not the movie theater, sorry, like the studios are gonna see like the success of Obsession and like Backrooms and all of that recently, and they're gonna be like, you know what the people want? They don't want original horror movies. No, they don't want any of that. They want Obsession 2, Into the Backrooms. I was like, it's funny because it's true. Or like with the, okay, like I'm going off on a full side tangent here, hear me out. Because I remember when this happened with like the Barbie movie too, and like Mattel literally, it was like, they put out the Barbie movie, obviously, huge success, like amazing, phenomenal film, and it's like they looked at it and they were like, could it be the fact that it's a movie about women, made by a woman, for women, and it's basically a story about the experience of being a woman in society and the patriarchy, and they looked at that and they were like, no, it's not that. The people want more movies about toys. We're getting the Uno movie. And it's like, oh, right, okay, yeah. Or like with Heated Rivalry right now, and it's like, no, the people don't want like good, like long thought out, slow burn queer romance. No, they don't want none of that. They want more hockey shows, baby. Bring out the hockey show. Like, okay. All right, you know what? They just like greenlit 50 more of those, and I'm like, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I've heard Off Campus is good, so I gotta put that disclaimer out there. I have a lot of people in my personal life that like that one, and they're like, you should watch it. I'm like, so I didn't watch Heated Rivalry for the hockey. I'm sorry. I don't know how to put it. Like, I know you're not watching that show for the hockey either, but I'm like, I gotta watch a show about straight people? I don't want to do that. But anyway, kind of went off on a tangent there at the end, but those are my thoughts on the Minions movie. I absolutely adored it. I think it was great. But let me know what you thought in the comments, and let me know if you're a mom and you have a Facebook account and if your kids started summoning Satan after they watched the movie. I'm genuinely curious. I want to know, because I know how kids are, and I know that that's something like, because me and my sister, when H2O, like, just said water was a big thing, we were like casting spells in the pool and all that. Like, that was a thing. I want to know, are the kids trying to summon Satan in the living room? But anyway, that's all I have. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm on Depop, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Letterboxd too. I'm gonna link all of that in the description because I'm not gonna remember all of it. And yeah, thank you for watching. Bye guys!